Conduct in the City Council chambers. Rules of decorum for the public. Members of the audience shall not engage in disorderly or boisterous conduct, including the utterance of loud, threatening, or abusive language, clapping, whistling, stamping of feet, or other acts which disturb, disrupt, impede, or otherwise render the orderly conduct of the city meeting infeasible. A member of the audience engaging in any such conduct shall, at the discretion of the presiding officer or a majority of the city council, be subject to ejection from the meeting per Government Code Section 54954.3C. Removal from the council chambers. Any person who commits the following acts in respect to a meeting of the city shall be removed from the council chambers per Government Code Section 54954.3C. A, disorderly, contemptuous, or insolent behavior towards the city council or any member thereof, tending to interrupt the due and orderly course of said meeting. A breach of peace, boisterous conduct, or violent disturbance tending to interrupt the due and orderly course of said meeting. Disobedience of any lawful order from the mayor, which shall include an order to be seated or to refrain from addressing the city council, and any other unlawful interference with the due and orderly course of said meeting. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Taft City Council Successor Agency Joint Regularly Scheduled Meeting for Tuesday, March the 1st, 2020. City of Taft Council meetings are being held in person with full capacity seating and are live streamed at www.youtube.com/user/City of Taft. Public comment can be made in person and also can be received per the following. Written comments may be dropped off in the drop box in front of City Hall. Comments may be emailed to the city clerk at ymayfield@cityoftaft.org. Made by phone to the city clerk's office at 661-763-1222. Public comments will be accepted up until 5 p.m. the day of the meeting, and any comments received will be read into the record. This evening, we're going to begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilman Josh Bryant, and followed by an invocation from Pastor Stephen McDaniel. If you'll join us, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, please salute the flag and pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, we're so thankful for your blessings upon our city, upon our country. We just pray over this meeting tonight that you would guide the thoughts and you would bless our leadership, Lord, and give them wisdom and counsel in this day. We just pray in addition, Lord, for the people of Ukraine, that you would just protect and keep and guide and let your blessing be upon them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much, Stephen. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Knorr.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Pryor.
Here.
Councilmember Bryant.
Here.
Councilmember Eveland.
Here.
And Councilmember Whiting.
Here.
All right, first item on this evening's agenda, public hearing, California Department of Housing and Community Development, HCD Annual Progress Reporting for 2021. City Manager Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. California Government Code Section 65400 requires each governing body to prepare an annual progress report, APR, on the status and progress in implementing the jurisdiction's housing element of the general plan using forms and definitions adopted by the Department of Housing and Community Development. Housing element reports are due for each calendar year on the following April 1st and must be sent to HCD at the Governor's Office of Planning and Research.
Thank you very much, sir. The recommendation is to have a public hearing. So I'm going to open said public hearing and receive comments on the housing element progress report, either for or against. Do I have anybody wishing to comment on that? Has anybody contacted you, madam?
No.
Nobody. Okay, therefore I will close that public hearing. At this time, I would entertain a motion to receive and file the annual Housing Element Progress Report for calendar year 2021 and direct the planning director to submit the annual Housing Element Progress Report to HCD and OPR.
So
Motion.
moved. Second. Orchel.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on this item, gentlemen?
In here.
Bookkeeping, got to get it done. Thank you very much for your hard work, Mark, and your group. Madam Clerk, we have a motion and a second. May we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Pryor,
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant,
Yes.
Councilmember Evelyn,
Yes.
Councilmember Whiting,
Yes.
and Mayor Moore.
Yes, that passed on a 5-0 vote. Thank you very much. Next up, item number 2, public hearing zoning ordinance amendment number 2021-13 regarding residential zone district land use standards and accessory dwelling units. City Manager Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. On September 16th, 2021, the governor signed Senate Bill number 9 into law. The bill amends Government Code Section 6542.6 and adds Section 65851-21 and 66411.7. In addition, the bill requires cities and counties to ministerially review and approve all proposals of up to 2 dwelling units in a single-family residential zone district. February 2nd, 2022, the Planning Commission reviewed and adopted a resolution recommending approval by the City Council of the attached draft ordinance that amends Chapter 4 and Section 6-12-23 of the zoning regulations. Chapter 4 of the zoning regulations is proposed to be amended to allow 1 single-family or 2 units to be built in the R1 zone district, including an accessory dwelling unit. Other amendments include reducing lot sizes in R2 and R3 zone districts, simplifying setback requirements in Table 4.B, and amending Sections 6-12-23 accessory dwelling units to include proper numbers of ADUs allowed and increase the maximum allowable square feet for ADUs.
Thank you very much, City Manager Jones. Recommended action is to conduct a public hearing. Therefore, I will open said hearing. Anybody wishing to comment for or against this action, please step forward. Nobody has contacted City Clerk's office regarding this. Okay, then we will close the hearing. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve and amend the City of Taft Municipal Code entitled An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Taft approving zoning ordinance amendment number 2021-13, an amendment of chapters 4 and section 6-12-23 of Title 6 of the Taft Municipal Code regarding residential zone district land use standards and accessory dwelling units for the first reading by title only and reading of such be waived.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this matter?
I
Gentlemen?
do. I have some questions about it.
Okay.
Couple, one, is that we have to pass it, or do we, if we don't pass it, does the governor overrides our decision, or we don't have no control, or there's some things that we have to?
Would you like Mark to step up? Mark Staples, planning director, would you?
And the other question too, I was gonna add to it is, could somebody have a garage, make a home inside that, then make another house on another property, so that'd be like, almost like a 3-unit apartment dwelling thing?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Cryer, Mark Staples, Planning Director for the City of Taft. To answer the first question, I'm assuming you're referring to allowing the 2 units on an R1 zone that we're required to allow that,
That's correct.
which is yes. Senate Bill 9, the basic.
We can't, hey, we had notice, we can't have, we voted no, we still have to do it anyway.
Yes, if we just left our zoning code the way it is, we'd be referring to the language of the state law for anybody who would propose a second unit on their property.
That'd be an issue with the fire department, you know, all those congestion homes in one little square area, like a 3-unit deal on a 75 by 50, whatever lot size.
Not so much, because it's just a second unit, and the building code for 10, 12 years now has required fire sprinklers in every livable square foot that's newly constructed. So a 500 or 600 square foot, accessory dwelling unit at 800 square foot, second unit trying to create a duplex would require whatever number of, fire sprinklers in the rooms in that dwelling. So the fire department is covered, or at least their, fire suppression requirements are covered by the building code.
So if I have a small yard with a big pool, I can put a houseboat in it and consider it a resident?
Interestingly enough, we took about 3 meetings to get through this in the planning commission, and we did dabble a little bit in unique second units on the property, but we did not specify those. So, alternative vehicle type living arrangements at the moment would not be allowed because they're not specified in the code. So they would need to be some level of traditional construction methods, whether it be attached, detached, an accessory dwelling unit, whatever that may be. So someone proposing a houseboat, we would not be considering that a accessory dwelling unit at this time. But we are coming back, we're even talking about it tomorrow night at Planning Commission to talk about RVs, C-trains, the tiny homes that are already attached to trailers. So that's, the discussion on that starts tomorrow night at Planning Commission.
I just see a lot of issues coming up from that, like you just described, that people will probably kind of bend the rules a little bit, and you're seeing some of that stuff that shouldn't be there but are there, and all of a sudden it's there for a while and it becomes part of the unit. But I have a mixed feeling on this, myself personally. I know we have no choice on it. It's one of those things that Sacramento brings down to us, that is a do or don't thing. Same thing with the trash cans and all that we have out there. We had no choice in the matter there. Or if we want control of it, we have to vote yes. We don't want control of it. The government comes in, takes it over, and makes it worse. It's one of those situations. I know I'm talking too much, and I just want to throw that out to you.
Well, that's one thing where the bill doesn't start banning something else as an option on the property. So if somebody already has the main house and some granny unit in the back attached to the garage conversion, whatever it may be, they can't add this second unit. It's not a duplex law. It's, once you have 2 units, we have every authority to stop the development there. So no third unit, fourth unit on the property.
Does that count in the garage as a unit?
No, the garage, unless it's turned into livable space.
That's what I'm saying. If they
Yeah,
turn
if
to
it's
livable
livable
space,
space, that's unit number 2, and that property's done at that moment. There's no other accessory unit or second unit or trying to make a duplex on the property. And we didn't get into detail with this, but the state law does have 20, 30 odd details of if this, can't do it. And one of those essentially prohibits someone from demolishing everything and building something new. They have to take what's given there. If they have a vacant lot, they could do a duplex, but there's an existing house, garage, whatever it is, they wouldn't be able to just clear the lot and do the duplex.
so to make it simple, then if you have an R1, it'll be telling it's an R2, basically.
Yes, more or less, yeah. They didn't describe it that way in the law. They were pretty creative in the language of the law. And that's where I got creative with this as well, where we don't use the term duplex, it's 2 units. So that could be a main typical single-family house and a little rentable granny flat in the back, or just an extra unit for, they used to call it in-law units, and you could use it that way. Or if there is a vacant lot somewhere, it could be what some would consider a traditional duplex.
What's the size of a lot has to be in order to do that? Any size lot, or?
We maintain the, I believe, 6,000 square foot minimum lot that you pretty much find in most of Taft. The 50-foot wide by 125-foot deep typical lot you find here.
That's all I have. I just want to bring that up.
Yeah,
Thank you
it's-
very much.
That was very much the typical question that was being bounced around because everybody was predicting this would be passed by the legislature last year.
All right. Thanks for the discussion. Any other additional questions, gentlemen, or clarifications? Hearing none. Thank you very much, Mark.
Welcome.
Thank you, Orshel, for bringing that up, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
Madam Clerk, I have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Crier,
No.
Councilmember Bryant,
Yes.
Councilmember Evelyn.
Yes.
Councilmember Whiting.
Yes.
And Mayor Nor.
Yes, that passed on a 4-1 vote. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thanks for the discussion. All right, next up, item number 3, citizen request public comments. I have, okay. But I would like to take the opportunity to introduce, is it lieutenant or captain?
Chief.
I'm sorry?
Chief.
Chief. Man, you're way up the chain of command, huh?
I've been called worse.
Boy, you had to work your way up. It is Chief Kerry Wright, who is going to be our liaison with Kern County Fire, our partner in providing for fire and emergency services. So if you would, sir, please take the moment to introduce yourself.
My name is Kerry Wright, Kern County Fire Department. I am the Operations Division Chief. So mainly I wanted to come introduce myself. And if there is anything that maybe you hear is going on operationally within the city limits of Taft or in the outskirts of Taft, feel free to give me a call. Or if I hear of anything, and whether I'm on duty or not on duty, I can find out what's going on and I can get that information to one of you gentlemen. Typically, I communicate with the city manager, and then he can communicate it out from there. But however you guys would like to disseminate that information,
I think that's probably a great route. Obviously, he runs a show here. We're just part-time elected policymakers is what we are. We understand our position. We appreciate you coming here. And I can tell you that during the course of our discussion regarding our newest contract with Kern County Fire, one of the emphasis towards the latter portion of the negotiations, our meetings, was increased communication. And that's both ways, two-way communication. And like you say, if we see things or we have questions regarding these things, to bring it up. And the fact that you come before the council, introduce yourself, and are ready for our city manager to bounce ideas off, because that's also part of it, not just concerns, but operational necessity and, enhancing the product that you actually deliver to the people of the city of Taft.
Right.
You can't take advantage of something if we don't help you understand it's there. So that's part of our role too.
Right. And just a little insight, we're just starting an ISO rating certification that's done every 5 years and throughout the state, throughout the country, in fact. So we just met with the liaison this morning. So Taft is obviously one of the cities we're going to be looking at. We're looking at communication systems throughout the county, the fire department, what equipment we have, the water systems within Taft throughout the entire, but you guys are more concerned with Taft. So we're going to be reaching out to the water purveyors, trying to get some information from them. And that information is extremely important because the better the rating, the better the fire department, the better the water systems, the better the communication, the better the rating that the residents get when they go to get insurance. Right. They use that rating number. So the lower the rating, the better rate the residents of Taft get. So there's going to be a lot of work over the next 4 to 6 months to try to get that collected. I just wanted to let you know we are working on that.
Do you look at the last rating numbers? Do you look at her historical data, especially to see if you found concerns and in areas of opportunity and whether they've been addressed or not? Do you do that?
We do. So 2016, a lot of work was done. We don't want that to go to waste. So we'll take a look at that. That'll be our foundation. And then from there, we'll see if anything has changed. So initially, right off the bat, we look at the footprint of Kern County and we make a determination, has Kern County gotten bigger? Have we annexed any property? Because that changes the square footage. It changes the factors, if you will. And then from there, we go, look, have we added more hydrants? Because we have. We know it. We've got a lot of construction going on in Kern County, a lot of big box construction. Along with that comes additional fire hydrants. We've got, it seems to be more people. We're building a lot of homes in Kern County, a lot of construction. It's a affordable place to live. So we have a lot of people coming in. So yeah, we're going to be looking at all of those factors. But yes, to your question, we do look at 2016. That'll be our foundation. We'll build off of that. We'll make any adjustments that we feel need to be made, and then they'll assess the numbers and they'll come up with a final report and let us know where we are.
So you have an opportunity to actually look at the situation. If you see opportunities for improvement before we get the rating, such that the rating doesn't come in bad, it can actually be made better if these improvements are made in a timely manner?
I'm not sure that we can do anything between now and the next 4 to 6 months. Now, we can go out, I'll give you an example, assessing fire hydrants, actually doing flow tests. And if some of the water purveyors, water is a very important part of this process. There's a certain number of credits given to communications, fire department, water, right? Water is a big part of it. It's hard to put fires out without water.
I can see
So
that.
the water purveyors are a big part of that. So the information that we send out to the water purveyors is going to be extremely important. Finding out, have we put more fire hydrants in? Have they done anything, booster pumps, have they done anything to increase the water supply to the area is extremely important. So, as you know, I was the battalion chief here, well, not that part of it, but I was a battalion chief and I was a fireman out in Taft years ago. And there are certain areas within Taft that we know there are no hydrants. So we've got to bring water with us, and it's a long way to lay 4-inch hose to those areas. So if you were a business owner or if you were a insurance agent, you know that if that fire hydrant isn't within 1,000 feet of that home, your insurance rate is going up because they know that that fire is going to grow because there's no water close enough to that resident. So that's the factor, is it's if you're outside of 5 miles of a fire station or 1,000 feet from a fire hydrant, the probability of that fire getting larger is much greater.
Yeah, that all makes perfectly good sense. I know that I have seen that when we built an industrial center out on the east end of town, and I built my yard out there for my business. That was a key component, and it was asked just exactly what our proximity was to fire hydrants from the insurance company.
Sure.
For obvious reasons. Gentlemen, anybody else have any questions for the chief?
Real quick, if I might, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, please.
Just curiosity's sake, is the process that you're talking about during this inspection for communications, water, et cetera, is that all done in-house with you folks, or is this contracted out to a third party, or does the
So
county
we-
have an agency
There is
specifically
an
for that?
agency that oversees the whole thing. So I just met with him this morning, so he's kind of our guidance, if you will. From there, we will take, so communication is our emergency command center, right? But it's also the communication that anybody in this county, when they call 911, where does it go? So Taft has their own PD, right? They have their own. So when people call from Taft, it goes to their command center, and then if it's a fire, it comes to ours. So we are gonna have to reach out to Taft PD and get some information from them about the communication part.
That was kind of my follow-up question, was your interaction with city agencies that might be necessary as well. But that would be, you said there's another county agency that would be responsible for that?
We are responsible for the big picture.
Okay, that's where I was.
But we will reach out to all of our contract cities, so we know that Taft has their own, any law enforcement, right? Taft has one, Arvin, Shafter,
Right.
Delano, Tehachapi. So we're gonna have to get information from them, and then KCSO, obviously.
Okay, that's the only question I had. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Any other questions, gentlemen?
I do just have one point of clarification.
Yes.
I believe what he was asking, there's a third party that's issuing this rating, correct? So it's almost like an
They're
audit.
collecting information from
You provide
us.
the data and they say, yep, you check this box, here's the guide, yes, you do, no, you don't, and at the end of the point, they give us a risk factor.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And there's some fancy formulas
Sure.
behind the thing.
Always is.
Yeah.
Any others, gentlemen?
I just want to thank you and your fire department, especially in our home area here in Taft. They do an excellent job, and I'm very appreciative of what you guys do.
I appreciate that.
You know,
Thank you for your
and
support.
along with our police department and sheriff, they all together, all three of you guys serve our community very, very well, and I'm very, very proud. And the fire department, I just want to include that because I used your services one time
Yeah.
involuntarily, but they took care of it. You know, I got sick real bad. I didn't want to go to no doctor. I didn't
Right.
believe in doctors or hospitals. They kind of grabbed me on my bed and carried me and took care of that matter. I didn't have no say so. But I just want to thank you again for that.
Well, appreciate you.
That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Well, Chief, thank you very much for coming by and introducing yourself. We'll look forward to seeing you more often. And like I say, the line of communication between us is a critical component, and we really appreciate you coming.
I agree. Thank you.
All right. Have a good evening, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, item number 4, council statements, non-action. Councilman Evelyn, we'll begin with you, sir.
Actually, nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Councilman Bryant.
Mr. Mayor, thank you, but I'm going to follow suit. No comment tonight.
All right. Councilman Whiting.
We'll make it at 3.
All righty. Mayor Pro Tem Cryer.
I was hoping you guys would say something, because I'm going to be speaking for a little bit, and I can always hear from you. But anyway,
Floor is yours.
I know. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for your time and your patience with me. As many people know, I travel a lot, not as a tourist or anything, but I've been to Ukraine. I know what Ukraine is. I have business over there. And my latest conversation I had was today with them over there in Ukraine, in a town called Potova. And all the people there are fighting right now. They all got their weapons all dispersed and trying to, and theirs is in eastern Ukraine. And it's supposed to be the area that Putin thinks it should be annexed to Russia, because it's a Russian-speaking area. No, they don't want. They're happy with their own country. They do what they want. They're prosperous, and they're very, very happy. But they told me that they're going to fight to the death. And I pray for them, because they're my friends. I know them. I'd have dinner with them. I drank with them, party with them, talking with all the people there, different businesses and their mayors and stuff. They're just like us here. We have families. They have grandkids and all that. The only thing different, they speak a different language. But they're fun-loving people, it's like we are. And they love their weapons too. They can have them. And I go to Slovakia quite a bit, and they're taking in refugees. I have a lot of friends there too. I'm in communication with them every day. 3 or 4 times a day I'm talking to them over there. And they're taking in there, their government there's going to give them a stipend for the refugees, so they have money to live on, a place to stay. They're looking for a place to stay. And I'm trying to figure, because I have a home there with about 8 rooms. I'm going to see what we can do to accommodate there. But it's a terrible thing what's going on in this country here. I'm going to get a little political here, because sometimes people forget things. When Obama was president, Putin took over Crimea. He didn't do a thing about it. He offered him blankets and some medical care, but he didn't offer no ammo or anything or help him out. Then Trump became president, nothing happened. The people loved Trump, because Trump gave them weapons. They gave him deals to shoot tanks, military equipment and everything, and all kinds of weapons, to a point where he couldn't go over a certain amount. And then Biden becomes president. What happened? They see a weak leader. China sees it as a weak leader. Be honest with you, I'm more scared of China than I am of Russia. But we have a weak leader. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody or not, but it's true. A lot of the whole world sees it. They look at it. I get emails and phone calls, and I don't have to agree with them, because when he talks, he gets on the TV, they don't see anything strong or vibrant or anything. They see something there that they can control. The first thing that Biden did when he got elected, he gave Russia the go-ahead to build their pipeline to Germany, and close down our pipeline here in the United States. Is it Keystone?
Keystone XL.
XL on there. Close it down. And what in the hell are we buying 60,000 barrels a day from Russia right now? Every day, $60,000 we're buying from Russia. We should be producing it right here in our county or in our country here, producing that right now, and export it, not being an importer. We're also doing 10,000 barrels a day from Iran, maybe a little more than that, from Iran. Our enemies, they're our enemies, yet we're buying it from them. And China is just sitting there laughing their heads off. And in the meantime, our gas prices go up, our inflation level goes sky high, and we're paying for all that out of our livelihood. Our senior citizens who are on fixed income. I feel so hard, so bad for them. And I know you heard me say that before. They're the ones that are stuck with it. They can't get more money. They have to go to Walmart and be a greeter or something like that and get a little more extra income. But that's the sad part. They're getting hurt the hardest. Our grandmothers, our grandfathers, and relatives and stuff. But my concern is all this can be fixed, but it just seems like everything's so damn political. You know, last I heard from our president is our was Trump's fault for this war. And it's BS. Because if we talk about dividing our country, that's what's called division. They're dividing it. We have to be united right now. We're at a part and deal where it'd be like 9/11. If we don't unite and become one nation and take care of our problems, we're going to divide and fall. And it's really, really critical right now as it happens. And I pray to God that He comes and intercedes for us and take care of our issues we have with the world. Because people are dying. We don't see it, but we see it on TV. I hear it when I'm talking on the phone and you hear the background noise. I'm just surprised the phone still works over there, to be honest with you. But it's still working. But it's a tough situation, and it's a sad situation. And we must pray, and we must really pray for our country and for the world, especially the people in Ukraine are sitting up there fighting. You know, the president of Ukraine, all the parliament, the friend I work with, he has a farm of about 40,000 hectares, and hectares is 2.2 acres for 1 hectare. He's a huge farm. He's the world's largest grower of sunflower seed. He's the world's largest grower for medicine, plants and stuff they use for medicine, and all kinds of stuff. And he does all that over there. That's all being disrupted. So somewhere along the line, our cost of other goods is going to cease from there. It's going to go get more higher here for the oil that's made from the sunflower seed. And there's so many different things that can affect us because Ukraine has a lot of resources over there, a lot. They have oil and stuff and gas over there. And that's what Russia wants. They want to take care of, they keep the Ukrainian resources and annex it to them so that they can grow. And it's not because of him saying, oh, because there's ethnic cleansing over there, there's corruption, there's Nazism. Nazism, man, that was dead since 1945. That's what I heard. But yeah, there might be some fringe groups out there. But the president of Ukraine, he's a Jewish faith. His relatives was in the concentration camp, and he's one of his father was, I believe, the last a brother of the surviving member from the death camps, and he's now our president of Ukraine on there. So how can that be part of Nazism? Putin is off his rocker right now. I don't know what he's doing, but there's issues there, political deal. But I know I'm rambling, but you know I'm not happy at all because our world is being disrupted, and we're paying for it right here in this country here, and it could be solved so simple. And that's all I have to say. I will see what happens with our speech tonight with Biden, what he has to say to solve it, who's going to blame for it, and pass the buck or whatever. But that's my rambling, and I just want everybody to know that there's a lot of people just like us in other parts of the world that believes like what we believe and wants to have a family and grow, and that's all I have to say, Mayor. Sorry about all that, but I had to say
You
it.
needn't apologize. There's a great deal of uneasiness, uncertainty, and suffering going on, and it's needless. So you need to apologize for being concerned about that. All right, at this time, next item on the agenda, item number 5, Planning Commission reports. We have Planning Commissioner, I do believe.
Yeah, it's going to be a short one. I'd like to thank Craig Jones and Mark Staples for having given my report, since the items I was going to report on are the 2 items you just approved. Thank you.
All right. And they say you're welcome. Not a problem. All right, department reports. I think you already gave your department report, didn't you, Mark Staples? All right, thanks, sir. All right, next item on the agenda, City Manager statement. City Manager Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no statement tonight.
All right, City Attorney statements.
Thank you, Mayor. I also no statement tonight.
So nice to see everybody in their proper seats. I'm sorry I just made that observation. I just had to bring that up. All right, future agenda requests this evening, gentlemen. Any future agenda requests? None? All right, that brings us to the consent calendar portion of this evening's show. Consent calendar items 10 through 14. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the City Council requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Are there any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after the regular business items? Are there any items on the consent calendar that any member of the public would like to comment on? I don't see any hands going up out there. None? All right, the items on the consent calendar are item number 10, the minutes from the February 1st, 2022 regularly scheduled meeting. Item number 11, the payment of bills, some $560,000 worth. Item number 12, the treasurer's report. Recommendation is a motion to receive and file the treasurer's report for the month of December 2021. Item 13 is the unmet transit needs in the city of Taft. Recommendation is a motion to adopt a resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft Making Findings Regarding Unmet Transit Needs in the City of Taft." Lastly, item number 14, the purchase of RIMS mapping software. Recommendation is a motion to accept the quote provided by Sunridge Systems Incorporated for the amount of $6,650 and authorize the mayor to sign and accept the quote. Any council members wish to remove any of these items from the consent calendar? All right, hearing none, at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve consent calendar items 10 through 14.
So
Motion.
moved. Second.
Crier.
All right.
Okay.
I have a motion and a second. May we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Crier.
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant.
Yes.
Councilmember Evelyn.
Yes.
Councilmember Whiting.
Yes.
And Mayor Nor.
Yes on everything, but item number 10, I don't believe I was present at the February 1st, 2022 regularly scheduled meeting.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. That's approved on 5-0 vote. All right, item number 15. Approved purchase of APN numbers 031-070-05, -06, -07, and -08, as well as APN number 031-080-09, -12, -13, and -16, and APN number 031-080-07 and -08. Property located in the downtown revitalization area. City Manager Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. The city-owned property at 201 Supply Row was destroyed by fire September of 21. Accordingly, all city properties are covered under the city's insurance for fire risk. The insurance claim on this property was figured to replace the building with a like-use commercial/warehouse type building, but the building on Supply Row has been vacant for many years and therefore had no current intended uses. After a thorough review of the feasibility of rebuilding the property for unknown intended uses and due to the current cost of construction, it was determined that the insurance payout may not cover a complete rebuild. It was then determined that it would be more benefit to the city and therefore our citizens to invest the insurance money in a like-for-like commercial property. Since the city had vested interest in revitalization of the downtown area and our economic development consultants have been recommending our investment in the downtown area for some time in order to help revitalize it, it was decided that in lieu of rebuild, a purchase of property in the downtown area for economic development purposes would be the best use of the insurance funds and would be most likely to provide a return of investment in providing economic development opportunities. That being said, the city entered into negotiations with a property owner of above-mentioned properties. This property is located in the downtown area and is considered a preferred location for development. The building serves as a hub of the downtown and provides for community uses. This purchase is considered an investment in not only the community, but also the downtown and follows the city's vision of downtown revitalization and long-term planning goals. Purchase price of the property is $700,000, and the insurance funds will cover the full purchase of the property.
Thank you very much, City Manager Jones. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve a resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft authorizing the acquisition of real property and also authorizing the mayor, city manager, and/or assistant city manager to execute the agreement and all escrow and other documents necessary to complete transfer of real property and making certain findings in connection therewith."
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Councilman Bryant, you made the motion. Any discussion, sir?
No additional comment besides saying fantastic job at City Hall, for the folks at City Hall, city managers and staff included, for continuing to find ways to make best use of city funds to benefit the entire city for the long term.
All right,
you.
thank you very much, sir. Councilman Whiting, you came up with the second, I do believe.
True, and I'd like to echo Councilmember Bryant's comments.
All right,
Good job.
thank you very much, sir. Councilman Evelyn, any additional comments?
None, I'm glad that our city manager explained it so well, so I'm very happy with the outcome of the proposition of this acquisition.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good job.
Mayor Pro Tem?
I think it's one of the best moves that the city has made in a while as far as property acquisition. I think Greg has a great vision when he did that, when he brought his ideas and stuff to it, because I believe it's opened up for another venue here in Taft that will make great things happening here. I'm just proud that we did this, and maybe it was God's blessing that maybe what happened at the old trading post, what it did to make this happen, but it's a good event.
All right. I would have to agree, it was unfortunate that the building, because we had actually looked into the engineering possibilities of the old trading post, but it had possibilities. It was going to cost a great deal of money to get it in line with modern building requirements and codes. And it was definitely outside of the hub of what one would consider downtown. So as unfortunate as it was, the good news is nobody was injured. The fire department responded and took care of things and did a good job, and nobody got injured in fighting of the fire. City Manager Jones and his staff did a great job getting it secured right away and making it safe for the people of the city of Taft, and it was demoed and all the environmental issues taken care of. So here we are. And then be able to take that same money, invest in literally the hub of the downtown, where we see the activity level all the time, especially during El Dorado. But I do believe it is worthwhile investment, and it goes right back to the heart, because we have told people and businesses downtown that that was our goal. We're going to reinvest downtown, and we wanted them to reinvest in their businesses, and we will reinvest the people's money. So I am entirely in agreement with this decision, and thank you very much for everybody who was a part of it. Madam Clerk, we have a motion and a second. May we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Cryer.
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant.
Yes.
Councilmember Evelyn.
Yes.
Councilmember Whiting.
Yes.
And Mayor Noor.
Yes, and that passes on a 5-0 vote. Thank you, gentlemen, for that lively discussion. And believe it or not, that brings us to the close of this evening's activities. Therefore, this meeting is adjourned. Good evening, everybody.